Hey guys, it's Monday morning. Welcome to my studio. Today is an exciting day. Today is the day where I try to get rid of all of the noise in my video. It's super annoying, especially as a music producer, to edit videos daily that have that much noise in them. So while I'm taking care of all of the boring Monday morning business stuff, enjoy the intro. You guys are so extremely lucky that you missed the past 5 hours. I was just sitting here answering emails, phone calls, taking care of all of the really boring business stuff that is involved in making music. So now it's time for the fun part, that is getting rid of the noise. And I think that tells you enough about my day if getting rid of noise is the fun part. Getting rid of noise isn't really easy because noise or white noise is per definition playing in all of the frequencies, so you can't use an EQ and just cut the bottom away or the top and get rid of it. You really have to try and use other methods. Of course, it's even better if you just record without having any noise in the source material. Whenever I record audio for my music, be it vocals, acoustic guitars, shakers, claps, snaps, I'm using this AKG Perception microphone with the mic suspension that prevents mic rumble, the pop filter to get rid of the pops, and it's directly connected into the sound card. With a setup like this, you won't have any problems with noise. Just make sure to get the gain staging right. For example, this mic has a setting between 0 dB and -20 dB. If you want to have a hotter signal that will have less noise in it, go with this 0 dB. Same as on the sound card, you have a gain knob and you can turn it up until to the point where you experience clipping, and of course leave a bit of headroom. You never know how loud the singing or the guitar will actually be, and clipping has to be prevented by all costs. It's way harder to get rid of it than getting rid of noise. So just to give you an idea what this sounds like, this is now the quality of this microphone with the sound card. There should be no noise at all. The quality should be way better, and that's really something you can use for anything. And this is probably a million times better than the sound from the microphone that is with the camera. So this is obviously the best way to get rid of noise, to just not have it in the recording. If you don't have another option and you already have a material that has noise in it, there are a couple of ways to get rid of it in post. This right here is one of my recent projects. I got here a very good vocal by a singer and songwriter. She recorded it at home, so there was a little bit of noise in the silent parts. The easiest solution was just to use the noise gate by Logic. You set a threshold and everything that is below -20 dB in this case is getting turned into silent. Just look here at the open and closed. Whenever it's closed, it's turning it into silent, and whenever it opens, it's above -20 dB and it lets the signal through. Here at the beginning, silent. The vocal starts, it opens, and in the gaps it closes again. That's a super easy solution. It's like having someone always turning the volume knob up and down whenever she's singing. This gets rid of all of the noise that is like in between, but there's of course still noise happening at the same time when she's singing in the background. It's usually masked by the singing, so it doesn't really matter. But in my case here with this camera, the noise is so loud, you can even hear it when I'm talking, and when I stop talking, it gets even way louder. This has to do with the auto gain function of the camera, so whenever it's silent, it boosts the signal to make it louder, which is really cool. When you're like going away from the camera, it readjusts. But when you stop talking, you just have a lot of noise. I of course tried it out without the auto gain function, but the noise level was still the same, and it happened a lot that the audio was clipping when I was talking louder or a car was driving by, and having the clipping distortion is, as I said, even worse than having the noise in the audio. There are more ways to correct it in post-production. I have here Final Cut Pro X. It has a built-in noise reduction plugin which is just really bad. Never ever use it. It makes your voice immediately robotic, artificial, doesn't sound natural at all, and it's way worse than just having noise in your audio. There are luckily other plugins available. For example, I used 1 month the RX5 Dialog Noise Reduction by Isotope. It's pretty good, it's definitely usable, it doesn't sound that artificial, it gets rid of the noise. There's just one downside: you have to apply it to each and every single audio clip, which is for me impossible to do on a daily basis. I can't spend half an hour editing the audio in my video, and you can't just apply it to all of the clips because you have to set everyone individually. And if there's a clip where you're outside and you have other sources of audio than just a voice, it will sometimes mess up a little bit. And then you end up with clips with a lot of noise, clips without any noise, and the change is, I think, even worse than having a constant noise floor. As I already said, I tested a couple of different mics and still had the high noise floor, so I'm assuming that the preamps that are built into the camera are just really bad. So a friend of mine was so nice to lend me his brand new Canon EOS M5. This thing was just released, I think, 2 months ago, so it's brand new. I hope they have built in better preamps. The camera that I'm using right now is the Canon EOS M3. It's the previous version of this one, and I think there are like 3 or 4 years in between of the two. So on the one hand, I hope that there's now less noise with the M5. On the other hand, if it's still the same noise floor, I know I can keep my M3, which I really like. It's just half of the price, and I don't really want to spend that much money just to get rid of the noise. Also, the M3 has the flip-up screen, which is really nice and handy. The M5 has one that kind of flips down, which is really stupid. I'm using a tripod, so I can't really see myself right now. No matter what it sounds right now, I will keep on improving the sound as much as possible. I want to achieve something that sounds like this. Most of the people watching these videos are music producers or very interested in music, and I also myself want to have the best audio quality. I definitely think having good audio is way more important than having good picture quality. All done with work for today. It was just more really annoying business stuff, and now it's of course dark outside. A good opportunity to test the low light capabilities of this camera. I also can't tell if the low light is better, but I can tell that it's way colder than yesterday. And I forgot my hat and my gloves, so freezing. Finally back at home. I can't wait to view the footage. I've checked the material, also listened to it, and I have to say the M5 has definitely the better preamps. So if you're having problems with noise in your video and you already tried out a couple of mics, consider just getting another camera. Especially Canon builds in really cheap preamps. I think the preamps of the Sony lineup are way better, and I would much rather prefer having a Sony. They are smaller, have better picture quality. Also the autofocus in video mode is better. But they have the one downside that they don't have a screen that flips to the front, and without seeing myself and being able to frame the shot, doing these videos would be a nightmare. So now I have the expensive option, just switching the camera to the M5 or getting another microphone, getting the RX denoiser plugin, which is also quite expensive and has the big downside that it's adding like almost 10 minutes a day into my editing process, just fixing the audio, and 10 minutes a day every day adds up quite quickly to a lot of time. I don't know which option to choose. If you have any suggestion or any other idea to improve the audio quality without increasing the workload, please let me know. If I had the money, I would probably run around with a red camera and a boom pole to capture the best video and audio quality. But we all know that's way too expensive. I will still try and improve the audio quality. I will just have to check that the costs are still under control and that the workload is not getting more. If you're wondering where my laptop is, Vanessa took it. She activated her YouTube account and is now answering some of your really nice comments underneath the last video. I don't really know if it's good that she now can comment underneath my videos, but we will see.